Alright then. Let's get this thing started. Gundam fights all set, ready! Go! Wish I was a little bit faster on that one. I could have had it perfectly timed up with the purple guy actually falling down. But this is Pikmin for the Wii. Pikmin 2 to be exact. And so we shall begin our adventure. Get rid of this. Beep. Okay, with the file being erased, we move on out. Hakate Freight is a long-haul deep space shipping company. One day, its only employee of any merit, Captain Olimar, crashed onto an uncharted planet while on an interstellar vacation. There he was eaten by intelligent creatures, which he called Pikmin. In the end, Captain Olimar escaped. But, in Olimar's absence, his employer, Hakate Freight, ran into financial difficulties. Uh-oh. Captain Olimar. And Planet Hakate. Hakutate? Hakutate Freight? I just go with Hakate. That's how I voted it. Called, so I'm used to. President Hakate Freight and local employee Louis. Gotta say, the dolphin looks really good when it's actually put together like this. Olimar! Oh, I'm so glad you're safe. Yes, very glad. Quite glad, but... Suddenly, I have an announcement. That is not so glad. Our company has gone under. Yes, we're finished! On his first mission, Louis here met a ravenous space bunny. And his entire load of golden pick brand carrots was eaten! Nom 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 nom. I took out an enormous loan to repay the debt from this loss. I decided to sell off corporate assets to repay the loan. Wait, what are you doing? That's my ship! That's my ship! But the only asset we had to sell was your ship, the SS Dolphin. As for the rest of our loan, 10,100 Pokos. I have no means to repay it. Hey, a star bottle cap. Olimar, what is that? But that back to the souvenir for your kid? Treasure, 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 money, 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 money. Huh? Initiating value recovered treasure. This artifact is worth 100 Pokos. This thing's worth 100 Pokos. That's more than a year's salary. Really? How much do these guys get paid? What? There are more than that planet? They can repay our debt! Louis, you don't! Look alive! You must depart immediately! With Captain Olimar! Wait, hold on a second. Don't I get... Guess not. So, we get home after barely surviving. Get to our job and told, yeah, you're going back. The asteroid that we almost crashed, into the first game, almost crashed into it the second game. And it looks like we're going to Africa. Now I just look at the Earth right there. Into the Valley of Repose. Oh no! Oh well. Nothing of value was lost, except for the crash landing. Oof. That was close. I have averted a crash landing running diagnostics. Alert! Danger! Louis is missing. He must have somehow fallen out of his cockpit. He is not responding via his communicator. He is either floating, protocol, or in danger. Alima, you must find Louis before he freezes to death in the cold of this planet. Do I have to? Wait a moment. Look. Oh, there's like a frog in my throat right now. It's killing me. Could these be Pikmin? They look like they are about to be devoured as we speak. You must help them. Point at the screen and press B to call them with your whistle. You can also hold B to make the sound of your whistle carry further. Remember? No, because my controls are different, because last time I played on GameCube. Anyways, hit B, press B, and hold B to do the whistle. And with that, we get these little guys. Now we have nothing to worry about, as we literally cannot lose these Pikmin at all today. I want to say it's impossible for any Pikmin to die. The Pikmin ran to your side. They seem to remember you, Captain Olimar. How fascinating. Give them instructions and do not delay. Hold A to grab a Pikmin, then point to the screen to release and throw it. Yeah, I want to say because they're going to need the Pikmin, they cannot die at all. So as you just see right there, he should have been killed, but he was not. Also, there's a dwarf bulb. Yeah, if you saw right there, that was him, like, pretty much trying to kill the guy, but he didn't. Because he even did the animation that would happen if he actually munched on him, but no Pikmin died, no little ghosts, so yes. Attention, Captain Olimar, I have re-established my communications link with Louis. It is fortunate we have managed to confirm his safety. Press minus to communicate with him. I am quite interested in the details of his condition. Are you really? Or are you just saying that because of corporate know-how? Louis. Louis, allow me to assess your condition as per our safety protocols. Are you at all injured? If that's so, then my concerns are eased. Our communication link shows you are nearby. Can you make your way to our location and rejoin us? I will navigate for you. Press plus to contact me and obtain information about the terrain. So yes, how that works is that, if we hit plus, we get ourselves a map of the area. As a matter of fact, we get a big map of the area in the place that we have not been to yet. But that's not anything to worry about right now. But as you also notice, we have two captains, Olimar and Louis. And we also have an onion. Louis, the odd object for you appears to be one of the onions mentioned in Olimar's report. The seed the onion ejected just sprouted. According to Olimar's report, it can be plucked with A. So, yep, it's just Pikmin. All over again. So adorable. Louis, this must be one of the Pikmin creatures from Olimar's report. It is staring at you. Can you press down on the D-pad to issue objectives to your Pikmin squad and direct their movement? You can disband your squad with C. Interesting. Olimar's description of the creatures resembling carrots was strikingly accurate. Louis, my sensors have detected drool in the corner of your mouth. Are you alright? Okay, like I should get myself a drink. Drink! What caused this? I love this little thing. Huh? And then they move. Look at us. It's like, I have no idea what this thing is. It's following me around. Ah! And then he's like, okay, I guess this is happening. Okay, pellet posies, if I can get you to actually land on it. Yes, and unlike the last game, they don't land on it and then come running straight back to you. They drop it. That's not how I want things to go, but oh well. You drop it, and then they actually do pick it back up. Well, at this rate, might as well get them all then. If you have them miss, then they can just take down the plant by themselves. Now we're all gonna need a couple of Pikmin, so getting these things is not a bad idea. And now I'm wasting time. Shoot. Now, I am not the biggest fan of the camera controls in this game. Or at least, I should say, with the Wiimote. Because I find it that whenever I want to just do something like this, or, like, go up, I tend to somehow always hit the side and have to, like, move everything around. Okay, after this, you're good to go. Come here. You're good to go. As soon as you grab this. And hopefully don't fall right through the entire planet. Olimar, how you doing? Fascinating. Louie. Dang, I was hoping that he would actually go for the other seeds, but oh well. I would have liked to have seen him get the seeds as we're going through this entire thing. The onion ejected more seeds. The pellet from that flower must hold nutrients that breed Pikmin. Yes, the Pikmin gather nutrients, follow them to the onion, and further propagate the species. The onion is a Pikmin mothership. Reviewing Olimar's report, it seems repeatedly tapping A lets one rapidly pluck Pikmin sprouts. Yes. Okay, come on, you guys. We got a bunch out of that one. Okay, so while things are happening... Ha! Perhaps this object is one of the treasures that we are searching for. The only reason we found it is because this is where you crash landed. How fortunate. I would like to appraise it, but you must regroup with Olimar first. Can't you see him? Press C to move the camera behind you. You can also zoom left and right, or zoom up on to change angles. I don't really show, but yeah, it's up on the D-pad to go above you, left and right to go up, higher and lower in terms of the one thing. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Now the nice thing about the Wii controls is that if you can see Pikmin on your screen, you can whistle them. Doesn't matter how far away they are, you can get them. Okay, we're just going to ignore that for right now because we want to get this paper bag down. Which I do like the idea of like all of this. Like you have like some real world stuff going on. That one is going to require a lot more Pikmin than what we got. So we're just going to focus on this right now. Hooray! Yeah, I'm going to get them across because of that branch. Captain, Olimar, Louis, you are reunited at last. This has been a troublesome start to our trip. But now you must feel assured that your combined wits can get you through anything, correct? From now on, use B to form a single group, C to take solo action, and minus to change leaders. Yes. So yeah, you can even change who being one in that. C will cause everyone to disband, and we can always do what we need to do. So I'm gonna have these guys take that body over. And I'm gonna take these guys to go dig up the battery. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Now the nice thing is I can disband Louie here, and he can stay with those Pikmin, while I go over here and deal with these guys. Oh, and what do you know, they already got this thing taken care of, that's good. However, it's not gonna matter much if we can't do anything. Because we don't have enough bodies right now to actually carry the battery back. It requires 20 Pikmin, and all we got is 16. We can always look around, but we can't do anything over there. There is a passageway up here, but there's nothing up here for us. Also notice that the Pikmin are slow. I want to say they still have the chance of tripping like they did in Pikmin 1. I don't remember entirely right now. I don't know as soon as I see one trip, and if I never see one trip, then I'll never know. Okay, but with the dwarf pole bulb put away, we now have 20 Pikmin out on the field. Granted, some of them are still buried on the ground, but we shall deal with that when we get over here. Now, actually, if I actually brought Louie with me, we'd actually be able to have both captains start... Not that. We'd have both captains start to pluck Pikmin seeds out of the ground, which would make this a little bit faster, but... right now, we got what we need. And I think... I want to say this is all the Pikmin we can have. I do not believe that there are any extra Pikmin you can get in this one compared to the first game. Because obviously there's nothing here except for the onion, and over here was just where Louie crash landed. And I want to say even at the end game there's nothing out here at all. This is just here for the whole tutorial aspect. But it's fine. Again, we have 20 Pikmin. We don't have enough to get to that, so we still need another 15. So all we can do right now is just watch this happen. Now, I guess you can't run into the other captain and get them back. You actually have to whistle. Also, if you don't hold in the button, you only get like a small little thing, which is why you need to hold in the whistle to get multiple. Like to get Pikmin easily. Also works like when you can do stuff like that, we can actually whistle multiple of them. Now, as we're waiting for the Pikmin to come back, if we notice here, we see these three crop circles, for lack of a better word. This is where the onions will land when we actually come back here. Actually, we'll see that a little bit starting tomorrow. As we notice up here, we have our in-game day. So this is obviously day 1, and that's all we got right now, because this first day is completely automated. It is to get you at least used to the absolute bare-bones basics of this game, as well as show you the fact that this game does have brand placement, this one being a Duracell battery, or, as the game likes to call it, a Courage Reactor worth 280 Pokos. Our first day of exploration has yielded our first treasure. We will be done in record time. I took the liberty of naming it when I appraised it. The name reflects my current thinking. Leave it to me to think of catchy names for hit products. It is but one of my many talents. We shall end our first day here and report back to our president. His face will surely be joyous. However, to communicate with Habitat, we must fly into low orbit above the planet. We will not return to the surface until morning, so as to avoid the indigenous nocturnal creatures. AKA, get off the planet. Which is similar to how in Pikmin 1, where we also got off the planet at night. And just like in Pikmin 1, if you have any Pikmin that are not in the onion, or close enough to your ship slash Pikmin's onion, they unfortunately do not make it through the night, and, well, you kind of lose them. It is implied that they get devoured at night. Today's report. Funds earned 280 out of 10,000. Yeah, and here we can see what happened. So we can see the Pikmin that we've gotten today, as well as how many Pikmin we have lost, if we so wish. Lost to battle, lost to sunset, lost to fire, water, electricity, explosion, or poison. All of which will be something we'll have to deal with later on. You found your first bit of treasure! Fine work! Our future depends on your efforts, so check your treasure hoard regularly. I'll check in often. Keep up the pace! And with that, that's the end of day 1. And in this game, we actually have a couple of different things, such as we have ourselves a Piccolopedia that we can actually use to actually not only see how these creatures act, like you can see how they act normally, and then throw Pick carrots to see how they act with that, as you just assume the Pick carrots are the Pikmin. As well as you can read some notes from Olimar, the Dwarf Red Bulborb, Pencillus Redbug family. Although initially identified as a juvenile Red Bulborb, groundbreaking new research indicates that this creature is in fact a member of the Redbug family, a close relative of the vanilla Redbug. It escapes predation through mimicry. Unique adaptations of the Red Bulborb crimson colorization allows the species to safely commingle. Such effective adaptation and obfuscation by a prey species is rare, indicating this clever creature in a master of mimicry. So yes, they're not actually just babies of the Bulborb, the giant Bulborb, and this here we have as, well, the Pellet Posy, who don't care at all for the carrots. Pellet Posies, Amplis Nuturio, Pellet Weed family. In the stem of the Pellet Posy, one can observe the muscle fiber unique to half-plant, half-animal species such as Pikmin and Candy Pop Flower. So, the Pellet Posy is a species that can be considered a close relative. Although the ability to crystallize nectar is unique to a small group of the pellet weed family, the fact that these plants reach maturity so quick and that their pellets contain such high concentrations of the natural nutrients in the soil explains why the Pikmin and so many other indigenous species are so reliant on these pellets for sustenance. So yes, it's not only the Pikmin that eat these things. We can obviously see that about every enemy in the game, as long as we go through it, as well as plants. And as well as, we can go over here, see our new item, in a location which, I don't know where they get these locations, but anyways, we recovered our first treasure. Amazingly, the Pikmin remembered how to salvage it. I can't understand their adorable language, and I don't know what they're thinking, yet I'm so happy to see them when I crash on this planet. The Pikmin helped me locate my missing ship parts. In my darkest hour, the Pikmin were there for me. Now that I reunited with them, I know everything will be alright. It will, wait. Okay, and with that out of the way, let us go back to the Valley of Repose. So day 1 was pretty much scripted. We had to do A, B, C, D. This one is also a bit scripted, but we also have a bit more to do. Plus, we're going to have to deal with a daytime clock. Good morning, workers. Ready for another day of toiling for the profit of your company? The Pikmin seem to still be asleep inside their onion. What lazy creatures. Now, no wonder they lack survival skills. Stand beneath the onion and press A to call them out. Okay, so I'm gonna call Louie to me. I'm going to disband him. And now I'm gonna call these Pikmin. Okay, so the idea is that we're gonna try and get ourselves some Pikmin. And the idea is that by leaving Louie behind, he should in turn pluck any Pikmin sprouts that come out. We also see there's a Pellet Posy over there, but it is not yet sprouted, so we're gonna come back to that one later. So we could add more to these guys, but right now I'm just gonna leave them at 5, because we do have more Pikmin. We will have more items over here. So I did say this area is useless, and technically it is, but also technically not. I did forget about the fact that there are a few Pellet Posies out here. Essentially the ones that we grew from yesterday. And there we go, that should be everything. Yeah, at least from right here. Let me make sure that Louis is plucking. They should be. He better be. Okay, so as these guys all come along, they all do their thing. We now have enough to actually get past the one thing. And Louis is not plucking like I was hoping he would. Fine. I'll just have to tell him to do it. I could have sworn they would have just plucked them automatically, but I guess I'm just a fool now, aren't I? Any second now, this thing should sprout. Right? Also, while we're waiting, this up here is our daytime clock. When the sun here goes all the way over to the end, that is the end of the day. So, when that happens, you want to make sure that you have all your Pikmin with you, and they are all, or they're all within a safe location. Except for any Pikmin that are not in your team and not at the base by the end of the day will be lost to sunset. And to me, that's kind of one of the worst ways to see Pikmin die. Just because I guess you didn't have... Like, you have the tools, you definitely have the tools necessary to actually do everything, it's just... To me, it's just, oh, I just didn't get there fast enough, or I didn't do this one thing soon enough. See, that's all fine, I'm not worried about the Bulborb. Also, don't always expect Louis to, or Olimar, whichever one you're not controlling, to be plucking Pikmin at a 1-to-1 pace as you are. More like a 1.7 to me. Like, they'll do it, but they're not going to do it fast. Okay, hold up. Before we do anything, I want to take care of this big guy. And I don't know if we have enough to try the rushing strategy, so I'm going to do the throwing strategy. Have to be careful. Okay, I was going to say, I'm not... the issue with the throwing strategy, at least to me in this game, is that I can't always throw Pikmin as fast as I want. Like, I would like to throw them faster, but that's not always going to be the case. And that needs... Okay, that needs 35. Okay. So what we're going to do is, while we're waiting... I need to get more Pikmin over here. I'm going to have these guys take care of that and leave Louis behind. Those guys, yes, went to go stop beating up that wall, because they will actually start to try and destroy it. As all that is going on, I'm going to come back over here and get these guys, so hopefully get this stuff taken care of. Now again, as I believe I was saying before, the nice thing about the Wii one is that the long range you have on your whistle compared to Pikmin 1. Now, it's mostly just the whistle that you have the great advantage with. Like, I want to say you can throw them further, but that just might be... Like, that just might be my mind playing tricks on me. Okay, so we had 58, and that big guy will give us... 70, so I think he just gave us an extra 12. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes. And if we actually listen, we could actually hear the guy actually walking on the wall, because I just saw it fall down by a peg. And it's on... Okay. They took care of 2/3 of it. Now let's have to take care of the last third. Oh! Apparently I threw a Pikmin here and I forgot about him. What the? Okay, I got stuck there somehow. Okay, oh! I was gonna say I'll have them work on that, but they finished working on it. How could Pikmin destroy such a massive wall when massed their might is ferocious? Louis, did Alma instruct you on proper Pikmin communication protocol? I think it's just a repeat. Apparently not. Alma, you are failing in your duty as a superior. Allow me to explain. Yeah. This is all just stuff we went over before. Although I didn't really talk about the swarm ability, so that is one thing. If I actually go over to Louie, I can do this easily. If you hold down on the D-pad on the Wii version, you can control them on where they want to go. Although I think we technically had that before, like it was announced. Now, swarming is fine, but it's not as useful in the Wii version to me as it was on the GameCube. Because the biggest thing to me, or the biggest thing, is that you can throw Pikmin as about as fast as you can easily collect them. So in the GameCube, I could easily, like, because the pointer and everything else was separated, I could easily, like, have the thing here, and then use the whistle thing, whatever, to order my Pikmin around me, and then just mash the A button to throw. Which at the very least, I cannot easily do in a functional manner that does not include my Pikmin dying. Anyway, we got what looks like a face, a very strange face, maybe that of the president of our company. But we got the utter scrap, which I want to say is a tomato juice can. But okay. You men are coming with me. Just like these guys are. Oh. I meant to hit minus to get Olimar in the lead. Because I want to go over this way, to the pathway that we just opened up. Also, I'm guessing this is a manhole cover from the look of things. Although if it's a manhole cover, the fact that it survived so long is amazing. But then again, you got a snowman here that somehow survived for so long. Now, there's two things to point out here. One is this. This is water. You want to be careful. Red Pikmin cannot swim. As a matter of fact, most Pikmin cannot swim. They cannot go through water, otherwise they drown. Beware the water. Interesting. Warm air is welling up from the hole in the ground before you. What could lie underground? What is wrong? You both show expressions of unease. Do not fear. The leader's group of Pikmin will join you. I shall dispatch my research pod too. Approach the hole and press A to jump in. So yes, as I was saying, whoever is in the lead, so let's say I disband. Louie has 70 Pikmin, Olimar has none. If we go over to the hole to jump in, it says we are entering with 0 out of 70 Pikmin, which I don't want to do. But if I have Louie go in, we now have 70 of 70. And obviously when they're together, it doesn't matter. So yes, we are going into the Emergence Cave. There does not seem to be any hazards this thing has to tell me. No fire, water, electric, or poison hazards. We don't know how many treasures are down here, but we are going in with all our Pikmin. So, let us go. And this is where the biggest thing in Pikmin 2 changes from Pikmin 1. First off, we had a save there. Every time you enter a cave, and you go further down into a cave, the game will save. Which can be very important if you're going for, say, a no Pikmin death run. Intriguing. My heat sensors indicate that this hole's interior is warmer than on the surface. Analysis suggests danger lies ahead. But the promise of treasure is tantalizing. If you wish to check underground terrain, press plus to communicate with me. I am not just a ship, I am an all-purpose support pod. So, yes. We're now underground, and the timer is gone. Whenever you enter a cave, the timer for, like, before we enter the caves are gone. And the caves are more or less the main gist of Pikmin 2. It's the main, I would say, gimmick, for lack of a better word. And how it works is that it goes like this. There are two types of caves. The randomly generated ones and the previously examined. Oh, not previously examined, but the random ones and the non-random ones, for lack of a better word. This, for example, is a non-random cave, as this cave will always look the same every time you go through it. However, later dungeons and later caves will not be that way. Now, we do have our ship down here, but we do not have an onion. Meaning, we can still collect treasures, but we cannot collect more Pikmin. So any Pikmin that die down here, we will lose, because obviously they die. We got ourselves a citrus lump, aka an orange or tangerine. Now, and I was saying, Pikmin can die down here, and obviously you have no way of replenishing them by the use of onions. However, maybe not some, but there are caves, and I just don't know which ones. There are caves out there that do contain ways of getting you more Pikmin. The Crunching Emblem. I will talk about the ways of us getting more Pikmin. Also, shh. If you hear that, that is your indication that you got all the treasures on that floor. Now, I want to say that's technically a glitch. It was not supposed to happen at this point of the game. Because it's supposed to be an item that goes with that later on, but we do not have it yet. This hole appears to be quite steep. My senses indicate more treacherous terrain ahead. Louie, you do recall that you can adjust... Yes. Don't worry. It's all the fellow Pikmin following you. Approach the hole and press A to enter it. Yes. Now, compared to being above ground, if we dismiss the group and go to the cave, delve deeper with your Pikmin. Yes. It does not matter if the Pikmin are in your group or not, as long as they are alive. As soon as you select to go down, the Pikmin will follow. No matter where they are, no matter what they're doing, they will join you. So you don't have to worry about leaving Pikmin behind or anything like that. Now, I was talking about, but I didn't say much about it. We cannot get Pikmin down here. But Pikmin can be sent into the machine over here. Sorry. We can kill creatures, and they can go under the ship. However, the ship takes them as currency, not as bodies to be used for Pikmin production. And the money you get from the bodies is not all that worth it. It's probably like 1 or 2 Pokos a body, depending on who it is. The bosses might give you like 15, but I'm not going to worry about collecting the bodies. We're just going to leave them alone. It's inconceivable that such an immense object has been buried here for so long. The design of the outer shell resembles the surface of the planet just as seen from space. Perhaps this can be used for something other than salvage. Both. But how will we ever lift it? I fear that even with 100 red Pikmin, even 100 red Pikmin will be unable to lift it. Oh, come on. Come on. What are you talking about? Can't have anything heavier than 100. 101. I stand corrected. Yes, this is going to be another gimmick of this game that I will show off in just about a minute, because we're going to find a way to actually lift that thing, despite the fact that you cannot have more than 100 Pikmin out in a world. There you guys. And the nice thing is, it technically goes with something that Olamo said back in the end of Pikmin 1, back when he was doing his little overview of everything. We see ourselves a candy pop bud, a purple one. Astonishing, a flower blooms in a cave deep beneath the snowy landscape. Clearly, it is warmer down here than above. Look, the Pikmin are restless. They look as if they yearn to be tossed into the flower. So, yes, these are candy pop buds, if you remember them from Pikmin 1. Now, unlike Pikmin 1, that could take 10, these guys can only take 5. And they also die once they actually sprout. But we don't remember purple Pikmin, and there's no purple onions, so what is this? Sumo! Wrestling! Pikmin! Fell on his butt. Amazing! A purple Pikmin. It has hair and is quite stocky. It seems very heavy and strong. This kind of Pikmin was not mentioned in your report, Olimar. It must be an entirely new type. transforming Pikmin by tossing them into flowers? Intriguing. Perhaps there are others. And he is not lying. There is others, but we're not going to see that one until, well, a while. Okay, but now we have what is ultimately the most overpowered Pikmin in the game. Now that I've got multiple types, if I hold down A and press B, I can swap between what Pikmin I want, which is going to be great, especially when we come later on. Now, purple Pikmin, when we throw them, they have like a ground pound type of effect when they actually get thrown. So they get thrown and then bump. That can do one of two things. It can A, stun an enemy, which is great against bigger enemies, or B, if it's small enough, it can just straight out crush it. So the idea is that, if we look at this, it's now saying 160. That is because each purple Pikmin has the strength of 10 normal Pikmin. So with 10 purples, that gets us to 100, and the 60 reds gets us to 160. Okay, so I'm gonna leave Louie there because this is the only treasure we have on this floor, and I'm gonna send Olimar closer down to the bottom so that we can be ready to leave when the time comes. And there we go. We got the Spherical Atlas. Now, I guess it's a bit late to say this. Apparently, if we do not collect this item now, we can go back into the cave and get more purple Pikmin. So, if you wanted, essentially, from my understanding, you can get yourself 70 purple Pikmin on this first day, as long as you never collect the Spherical Atlas until then. There is a device resembling a microchip enabled inside this sphere, receiving data. Error, I could only decode a portion of the data, but I did retrieve new geographic charts. Oh, good. I will input this data into my planetary database and name it the Sphere Chart. Press plus to contact me and go to the exploration kit on the radar screen by pressing left on the D-pad. Now that we have this new data, you should explore the decoded territory tomorrow. Yep, so there we go. That's the only item on this floor, so now we can leave. As well as now we'll have a new location to go to, and the main idea is that these dungeons, every final floor will have a new item for us to collect that will actually give us something more than just money. If we see here, we can see 12 different things, and, well, I guess we can't do anything here, but at least maybe not yet, not until we get some of the other ones. But yeah, as we see here, we can see a couple different things, and on the bottom left was the sphere chart. We also see another thing, although that one is actually not until... we'll actually get that one not in a cave. And some of the other stuff will be something for later on. But yes, usually there's something you get on the floor, on the final floor, that can help you out in your adventure in one way or another. As we get down here, though, astonishing! Water is shooting out of this geyser with incredible force. Sensors indicate it has enough power to launch you into the air. Approach it and press A to try. So, this is our way out of the caves. And again, just like going down, escape to the surface with your Pikmin. Yes. Here we can see all the treasures we collected, and if we actually got everything, we see the cave complete. That should show up, as well as that little flag. Now, apparently if we stay on the screen long enough, we'll actually get an Easter egg, that of Tanada's song, but you need to have collected all the treasures in the cave and be on the screen for like 5 minutes or whatnot. I don't think we need to go through that, so I think we shall just move on. Having collected 480 Pokos giving us a grand total of 930 out of 10,000. And with that, we go back to the Valley of Repose. Yep, if we didn't collect the one thing, we could also collect more Pikmin up here based on the fact that the poses are around. But having collected the Spherical Atlas, this is the end of Day 2. You have successfully returned to the planet's surface. Excellent decision-making, gentlemen. We must celebrate your first successful spelunking expedition. You've gathered a large amount of data that needs an in-depth analysis. I shall send a report back to the President tonight, detailing your progress. And again, because we have the Atlas, it's an automatic day over. So, Olimar and Louie, since you'll be exploring a new area tomorrow, today's work is done. Oh, thank you, Shift, for being kind. What? You still want to work? Unacceptable. You may not realize it, but you are exhausted. You should take a much-needed rest, as you have all the time you need to collect treasure. That is correct. We don't have a time limit like we did in Pikmin 1. Haste makes waste, so take it slow and ready and steady. Now, what happens to the purple Pikmin? Because obviously they don't have an onion. Well, they apparently go into, I guess, the ship's exhaust. I have no idea why, but obviously the purple Pikmin can be really overpowered. So I guess it makes sense that they didn't want you being able to just get an onion and easily get like millions of purple Pikmin. Because yes, the purple candy pop buds are the only way of collecting them. So with this, we got the Spherical Atlas, the Utter Scrap, the Citrus Lump, and the Quenchling Emblem. We gained an extra 40 red, and we gained 10 of the purple, giving us a net of 50 Pikmin today. Baby steps, Olimar! Baby steps first, Olimar. Plan well, and don't worry about me. Our debtors and happy Hakatate savings alone, after all. Besides, there's nothing left to repose, so ha! I mean, that's both good and at the same time horrible. Okay, but with this location over with, we unlock the Awakening Woods. Or the Awakening Wood, as it is. And let us go see our new creatures. First up is a red Bulborb, who is that giant guy that we defeated back on top of the plate. As you see, he can get a lot of carrots. Also, he can fail when he... yeah. Red Bulborbs, the grub dog family. This large organism has the familiar mandible and cranial morphology of the grub dog family, as well as the characteristic bulging eyes. As with most grub dogs, the creature's cranium comprises half of its total length and girth, showing a scarlet abdomen with white spots. This creature is primarily nocturnal, choosing to prey upon smaller creatures returning to their nest. Originally classified as a spotty Bulborb, further research has reclassified the species as the red Bulborb. Subspecies of varied colors have recently been discovered, but academics are divided into two rival camps over how to handle their classification. So we have the dwarf red Bulborb, and now we have the snow Bulborbs. Snow Bulborbs of the Breadbug family. Like the dwarf red Bulborb, the Snow Bulborb is a member of the Breadbug family that seeks to survive through imitation. The apparatus and behavior of the Bulborb, its pale colorization and blue spots make for an easy identification. In particular, this organism mimics the hairy Bulborbs, but it is of course unable to grow the hair that gives the hairy Bulborb its name. However, as the hairy Bulborb has been known to lose their hair in certain circumstances, the Snow Bulborb is an efficient mimic that is often mistaken for members of the same species. And the Candy Pop Bud, which it won't take carrots. Actually, I think if you can actually get a carrot in there, it bounces out. Yep, there you go. The Violet Candy Pop Bud of the Candy Pop family. Research from a most recent expedition has confirmed the presence of the Candy Pop Bud in subterranean regions. Considering the micro-ecologics this plant has been found in, one could surmise that it could be found in any cavern, regardless of geographic region. Tossing Pikmin into the flower results in releasing of purple Pikmin seeds, regardless of the color of the Pikmin tossed in. This variety of candy pop contains robust oil. If candy pop flowers could be cultivated, there is no doubt that the plant would offer multifaceted benefits to the cosmetic, medical, and tourist industries. I cannot speak and read. The citrus lump. This fruit was dug from the floor of an icy cavern. It appears that the fruit's thick skin protected it from the frigid cold. It's quite remarkable. The shape of the fruits eerily resembles the president's head. P.S. The labyrinths underground and tails of this planet are like a completely different world. Yes, that is correct. No, continue. The area we recently touched down is blanketed with fresh layers of frozen precipitation. As tranquil and relaxing as it is, I named it the Valley Repose. Using Pikmin to move obstacles, I was able to open up some new areas to exploration, where I found this hunk of metal. The purple Pikmin was somehow able to carry this massive treasure today. We measured their physical strength using the ship's onboard beefometer. It seems that they have 10 times the weight and physical power of any other Pikmin. When I throw them, they land with a resounding thud. I decided to commemorate the cave. I first encountered them by naming it Emergence Cave. Yeah, we always name the caves before we go in them, so yeah, not always the best. I often brag about my inexhaustible supply of self-control, but when I peer at this treasure, I cannot help but want to take a drink.